This 2016 Mercedes-AMG E63 S is aggressive and striking as ever. It's got a total sleeper look to it. No one really knows what this thing is on the road unless, of course, you're an enthusiast. And when you know what this car is, you know that it could really take on almost any car on the road, which is just insane for a sedan nowadays. The front has functional venting everywhere, as expected, and it should. The LED headlights are nicely styled. They're full LEDs, so you got LED daytime running lights, low beams, high beams, and turn signals. The rest of the overall front end is just so striking in my opinion because, of course, I can't unsee this car and I know what it is. I think it just looks super beautiful. Whenever I see a front end like this, I know it's something not to mess with. Back in the mid-2010s, where this car is pretty much from, factory wheels weren't as big as they are nowadays. This E63 has 19-inch wheels front and back, with the fronts being a 255 series tires and the rear being a 285. They do very Mercedes-esque, very AMG-esque with their matte black multi-spoke appearance. Behind the wheels are nice and large drilled rotors with that red caliper look to it, and they go well with this exterior. They just fit the car to a T. We have a very traditional sedan side profile, which I thoroughly enjoy today in our current world of SUVs and fastbacks, to be honest with you. Keeping that sleeper moniker true, because all we have on the side profile is a subtle V8 bi-turbo badge. The suspension of the side also consists of AMG branded shock absorbers. While the front has springs, the rear is an auto-leveling multi-link rear with air suspension. It's also got a mechanical limited slip differential. The rear is probably my favorite part of the exterior just because of those really AMG aftermarket looking headlights. They look like they're aftermarket even though they are factory. And of course they're full LEDs with the brake lights, turn signals, reverse, all being LEDs. Aside from that, we do have a nice subtle lip spoiler, an aggressive looking lower diffuser, and the exhaust is trimmed into it very nicely. Now, AMG models have always sounded amazing from the factory. I've said it, they're one of the best sounding exhausts from the factory without any tuning required. Let's see if this one keeps the tradition alive. Before continuing this video, I just wanted to say thank you to Jaguar Land Rover of Calgary, Alberta for letting me borrow this E63. If it wasn't for them, this wouldn't have been possible. If you're interested in this or anything else on their lot, the link to their website is in the description below. Underneath the hood, we have a gigantic 5.5 liter twin turbo V8. This thing makes so much power, 577 horsepower and 590 pound-feet of torque. It's mated to a AMG Speed Shift MCT 7-speed sport transmission. Say that fast 3 times. And that power gets sent through an all-wheel drive, full-time 4MATIC system. Now, it's not best on gas, but if you get this, you already know that's a twin-turbo V8, 5.5 liters, gigantic. But this thing runs a 0 to 60 in 3.7 seconds. Just insane. The door panel has a nice glossy wood finish. It's pretty dark, it's hard to see the wood, but it definitely is there. I think carbon fiber would have looked better, but obviously the person didn't get that when they originally got this. The armrest is a nicely padded area. It's got nice white stitching. The door panel has nice vertical white stitching. It looks very nice with where that leather is. A large cubby for your space is pretty nice. It's not open. The opening is pretty narrow, not wide, but it definitely at least is long for a lot of slim items, maybe files. The switchgear, the door handle, the seat controls, it's all the older Mercedes stuff, so it's not the brand new metal stuff that you're used to in newer 63 AMG models, but all still usable and all still look great. The steering wheel is nice and thick with 2 C's. The Alcantara finishes exactly where you would grip your wheel. It feels so good in the hands and soft, and this one's actually held up pretty well. Only by the grip area it's kind of worn down, but otherwise it looks really nice. The white contrast stitching and crisscross pattern looks very nice. The metal paddle shifters. The airbag cover, nowadays they're all stitched, so I can't complain. This is an older model. The buttons, simple, not cluttered with buttons. That's a good steering wheel in my opinion. The steering wheel, the driver's display, it's a mainly analog setup with a small little digital screen in the main center area. The gauges do look nice. They have the AMG S branding, the V8 bi-turbo, in case you forget what you have. They show decent, somewhat relevant information, your engine temperature, your drive mode settings, and etc. But yeah, no, they're definitely usable. Okay, moving on to the infotainment. This is where you're gonna start noticing the age of this vehicle. It is the older Mercedes UI. It's controlled by that dial in the lower center console area. It has Bluetooth. The backup camera itself isn't too bad of a resolution. Pretty well done for, I guess, the time. Even current mainstream cars have worse looking cameras, and then the newer Mercedes camera quality is insanely good, so that's awesome. You know, it has once again your Bluetooth. The navigation's pretty bad on it, not gonna lie. And overall, though, at least it's fairly easy to use. It's not touchscreen, so you're gonna have to use that rotary dial. But it does what it will need to do majority of the time. Pretty much almost everything. If you want to hook up your phone, listen to music, it'll do that for you. Your media controls have that older Mercedes interior as well, with the actual number pad for the calls and some hard buttons for media controls. So these are some quicker kind of settings to get into. At least you have a CD player. You can turn your screen off completely if you want to and just focus on driving, which is a great thing. Your seat controls and parking sensors and eco mode, surprisingly, and power sunshade buttons are all over here as well. You know, as they should be. They're nicely trimmed in silver finish. The HVAC controls themselves, also hard buttons, something that I like seeing. The temperature select and fan speed are all, I don't even know what you would call them, just levers that you would push up and down to adjust, and the mode as well. But overall, the entire HVAC controls and media controls are all super easy to use. Moving on to the center console. This is where, of course, your shift knob or shift lever is. And honestly, I love it. It's a very small, tiny feel, but it feels really nice on the hand. It could you can grip on it really well. The AMG badge is right up top, embroidered in there, which is very nice. Your drive mode selectors, traction control, suspension settings, or a custom manual mode. There's a little secret cubby as well that matches very nicely with, I'm guessing, an ashtray with your 12 volt here as well. So that's very nice. It slides in and covers. That makes it look very nice. Here's your rotary knob that I talked about before, a coverable cup holder area, though the cover for it kind of seems a little flimsy in my opinion. But the cup holders themselves, they're two levels. They look like they would grip drinks very nicely. You have your nice center armrest area, not that big, leather stitched with that white contrast, and it opens in a butterfly style. Once you open it up, you do have a couple USBs and a small amount of storage, but not too much though. The seats are a heated and cooled setup, 14-way for the driver and 12 for the passenger. Of course, finished in leather, bolstered nicely, and they're super comfortable. White contrast stitching makes them stand out as well. On the insides of actually only the driver's seat, you can have further adjustments. Mercedes likes to call this the massaging lumbar support. You can basically adjust your thigh extender, your bolstering, and the cool part is once you have the dynamic modes for your driver's seat active, once you're turning and making turns at a faster speed, the bolster, you can actually feel it come out from one side to kind of keep you more stable and centered in your seat, which is pretty cool. Other than that though, the seats themselves, they look nice and they're comfortable, and I love the AMG branding embroidered onto the headrest and the badge. Okay, time to jump into the rear. The front seats are adjusted where I would be comfortable sitting. I'm 6'1" if you're brand new. This is exactly how far they open up, kind of a narrow entry, but oh well. They look extremely the same as the front. Nice stitching at the top of the door handle, it's black contrast. Here's that wood finish, which I know it's hard to capture in camera, but it is wood, by the way. It's just extremely glossy and dark. Same stitching over here and down here. Your window switch and two-stage heated seat button. Now, once I jump in here and close this door, it's a little dark actually, let me keep the door open to show you easier. Plenty of space. My knee room and foot room is pretty decent. My headroom is amazing, especially with these dual pane sunroofs, Alcantara headliner, which feels really nice. And I have lots of space. There's venting right on the pillars over here and in the center stack, temperature adjustment, and a 12 volt down here with this little cubby area. Aside from that, I think these are probably extra speakers in the seats, which are really nice. And the rest of this interior in the back seat just looks very, very nice. You can tell about these seat belts. They're white, and I love it, just the differences with that. The seats themselves are very comfy. They're perforated as well, of course. You can always pull down this center stack area. Then you have a nice little armrest. Open this baby up for some storage right here, and your cup holders, which my least favorite type because they just seem very flimsy. But you know, they do the job. And how often are people really going to be sitting in your AMG with drinks on the back, right? They'll be spilling that stuff. But overall, this is very nice. Lastly, we're going to check out the cargo capacity. This is a power operated tailgate with the key or buttons over here as well. So my sidekick Jimmy, how much space do we have in the cargo area? 12.9 cubic feet, which is kind of on the smaller end, but you know, for a mid-size sedan, it is not that bad. Of course, I think they have the first aid kits over there. That's what that's for. Another 12 volt, which is nice to see. Temporary spare tire tool kits over here, and then the original mats that the owner is going to get when they buy this. And here is a temporary, I believe, a run flat tire as well. Actually, it looks like a full size. Actually, it's pretty thick there. No, it's temporary use only. My bad. But time to do what we've been waiting to do. Let's close this cargo area. Just kidding. It's time to drive this thing. I'll see you on the road. Okay, time to do what I've been waiting to do. This is, I think, my first 63 AMG product. I am beyond excited. You've heard the exhaust rumbles. It's already in Sport Plus mode. Right now, you can hear the active exhaust just raise up the intensity, just like that. And we're about to do it. Seatbelts on, of course, white AMG seatbelts, you know, safety first. Are you ready, everyone? Oh, whoa, that thing is so fast. Oh, the downshift sounds. Ooh. Okay, I'm just gonna put it into sport mode now and not Sport Plus, and let's see how that drives. My God. First things first, this thing is a rocket ship on wheels. Super unsafe to drive if you don't know what you're doing. So those people that would get this car obviously have experiences with high horsepower cars. I've had the grateful opportunity to drive a bunch, thankfully, because you guys watch videos, and so thank you for that. Oh my God, it's just super fun to drive. So first of all, the best part about this, I think, is it's the perfect sedan for somebody. I'm gonna switch to comfort mode now. It's the perfect sedan for somebody that wants high power, but you don't want to attention. High-powered cars usually come with an attention magnet. This is so sleeper. It doesn't even look like it's something that's fast. It looks like it's quick, but not as fast as it actually is. People that know about it are the only ones that are gonna really know how fast it is. So it's super fun to drive, and it's great for people that want sleepers. The handling itself, awesome. Even in comfort mode. So right now this is in comfort mode. Listen to the exhaust. You hear that? Like, that's in comfort mode too, so it's decent. It's of course toned down compared to the Sport Plus, but just the way this thing handles, like, wow. It's a dream. It's a dream. When I was accelerating back there, it was so stable. I did not have the oddest, like, oh, I'm gonna slide over and do this and do that. It was so stable and solid built, and as expected, as what a C6 or an E63 should be, obviously. Now, one thing I really wanted to talk about was pricing for this thing. I even made notes about it. Okay, so this thing is, when it was brand new, it was actually just over $102,000 USD, which works out to about $128,000 Canadian. Right now, where it's currently sitting at Jaguar Land Rover Calgary, where we're borrowing this from, thank you. This vehicle is sitting at a sale price of just under $68,000 Canadian, which a direct conversion is about 54,000 American. And it's got about 60,000 kilometers slash 37,000 miles, sorry. So definitely reasonable. It's gone down a little over 30 grand, 34 grand here in the 5 years. And I also think because of the way the market is with the shortages of cars, it's gonna be like this. But aside from that, like, the visibility in this thing is pretty phenomenal, especially because it doesn't have that fastback look. You got your blind spot monitoring displays. The rear window is large and wide. The side mirrors, you have a nice squarish kind of shape to it with a little bit of a slant towards the end, so that looks very nice. Let me pass this truck so I can check the right spot, blind. There we go. So yeah, see, like the back pillars, as we know, they gotta be thick, but it doesn't really block out that much. The window in the back corner of the rear door is really helpful. And you know, not really any complaints. The rear seats are spacious. It's fun to drive. Not good on gas, but you don't care about that if you buy these things. And your cargo area, decent enough to carry some, you know, daily life things around. So I'm gonna leave it with that. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.